Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something. Hi there. Welcome to another episode of MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next, and if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So, it took us a while, or it took me a while, but I've finally got my computer set up out here, and complete with my MacGyver's Workshop mouse pad. That was pretty cool. And now the trick was getting network out here. So what I basically had to do was set up a wireless bridge to basically wirelessly shoot my network out here, so I could hook my computer and printer up and what have you. And then we just have you know, our little network switch set up underneath the shelf here, so everything's kind of hidden and looks tidy. And then I got my Wi-Fi right here, so we got plenty of wireless out here in the shop. And I'll show you, take you outside and show you how we got our Wi-Fi network out here. So basically what I'm using is a product from Ubiquiti, and they're called nano stations, and these are the Loco M2 models, which is 2.4 gigahertz, and that gives me a 300 megabit link to the house, which is more than adequate, which is it's more than my my internet service, and basically it makes what's called a wireless bridge between my network in the house, which has my internet and all that good stuff, and these two guys here just point at each other, and that's it. Real easy to set up. Right, so one of the first things that we're going to end up doing in this restoration project for Ole Blue, as we'll call her, is we're going to have to blast the frame and get it prepped and painted as part of the restoration process. And you know, all along I've used a regular air driven sandblaster, and it's been a royal pain because it just makes so much dust, so much mess. And but I came up with something new, and well, not really new I guess, but I came across it anyhow. It's a method of wet blasting using a pressure washer instead of using your regular compressed air and then a tank of sand, and then the tank gets all clogged up and the nozzles get clogged up, and you know, this pressure washer deal supposedly works a whole lot better. Now ideally it's good to have a giant pressure washer to do this with, but I've got a pretty decent sized one. It's a 3100 psi at 2.5 gallons a minute, and we're going to give it a try. You know, of course, the more gallons per minute you have, the better, but I'm going to hope that by having a fewer gallon per minute that, you know, it may just slow the process down a little bit, for which, you know, I can accept that. So let's show you what we're going to do here. So for starters, what you have is you have this piece here that goes on the end of your pressure washer, and you can get these. I got mine online from Amazon, and basically it's a similar type eductor type pickup where instead of air coming through here and sucking sand up through the side, you have your high pressure water from your pressure washer. And that, I think, it carries the sand or the media a lot better, and keeps the dust down for the most part. And then you have a good bunch of hose there, and then you have a little pipe that'll stick down in your bucket of media, whether it be your blasting sand or whatever type media you're going to use. And then, like I said, it just goes on the end of your wand for your pressure washer. So, but what I'm going to do, since I have a bit of a problem with my water line out here, I use a frost or a anti-freeze standpipe. We always call them farm spigots. And the problem is that that allows a lot of air to get in the water line. So, and that kind of messes with the pressure washer, because the pressure washer has a safety in it to where if it goes dry and there's no water, it'll turn the engine back down to idle and you won't have any water pressure. So for like the first 10 minutes you're bleeding all the air out of the line and can't hardly get any blasting done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pressure washer and I'm going to use a 30-gallon barrel, and I'll hook my water line up to the barrel, let it fill the barrel. Well, not maybe fill it, but anyway, keep a nice head of water in that barrel. Keep this fed with, you know, nice clear water with no air in it, and that'll allow me to work better. Let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little garden cart kit that you can get from your big box store, and we will use that, and instead of using the little bin that it comes with, we'll make us up a little cart and then put the axles and the wheels on it, and then with that we can mount our pressure washer and our barrel for the water, and then we can also have a nice size tub to put our blasting media in. Alright, so for starters, we need to know how big we need to make this. So I'll line up my pressure washer, my barrel, and then a representation of the container that I'll use to put my blasting media in. So with that, we're going to need it to be roughly 5 feet long. So we need it 5 feet long and 2 feet wide. So what we'll do, we'll start cutting us up some lumber and make us a platform that's 2 feet wide by 5 feet long. We'll set this up so that we make all our cuts exactly the same length. So now I'm going to go ahead and set this up on our 2 foot width. I'm going to put some screws here to hold it together, but ultimately I'll drill it and we'll put it together with some good strong bolts. But this will kind of mock everything up to begin with. Now to keep it nice and square, I'm going to use my guide from my table saw here, and we'll go ahead and get a couple of these puppies in here. Get them started. Now we got a 2 foot by 5 foot, and she's nice and square. Then we'll do our middle board, just center that in between it. Good enough. I'm going to forego the directions on how to put the cart together because we're not really going to be assembling the cart. We're going to be building our own cart and just using parts out of this. So what we'll end up doing is we'll have to drill these here, get them situated. Alright, so we'll measure off our distances here so we stay the same on each side. Alright, take down our snug these bad boys up, shall we? That's our front axle. Let's get our back one mounted. Now, this will be for our back axle here. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to center it up just like we did that. So we've got all our wheels in the right place, so we shall measure this. This one, 3/4 as well. Fortunately, these kind of measurements here aren't super critical, but we obviously want it to be square and straight. Now we're going to lock these two guys down. Make sure they're in there all nice and good. Nice and sturdy. Now we know where we can drill our holes for these guys. We'll just go ahead and drill them down through. So let's put our wheels on it and we'll turn her over. Valve stems facing out so we can air them up if we have to. Then we'll put our little pull handle on here. We'll snug that up. We'll have our first half of a wagon here, won't we? Okay. It's a little heavy. That's all right. Okie dokie. So we basically have ourselves a little wagon here, and I've got everything just kind of sitting here mocked up on it for now. Nothing's really in place yet, but so we'll mount our pressure washer there, okay, and the feed line will come out of there and come to the bottom of this barrel. And then our garden hose will hook up here somewhere, and I'll have a valve, and we'll have the part of this cut open where we can get to it. And we can just open our valve and turn our water on, so it keeps this barrel full of water, and then we don't get any air into our pressure washer. Now, if you have a normal spigot at home with city water, good water pressure, and all this, that, and the other, you probably never have to worry about this. But for making a little mini wet blasting rig, yeah, I think this will be a good idea. And then here we'll use something like this to put our blasting media in. And what we're going to do is I'm going to make a little mechanism, but this will be in a future episode or future part. I'll make a little mechanism here where we'll have a little electric motor and a sifter thingy, so that we get our cheap play sand from Lowe's, which you can't really use by itself without sifting it, because it'll clog up your blasting gun. Because even though it says it's sifted, there's invariably a big chunk of something in there, and it gets in there and jams up your spray siphon, and then that pushes water back through, and then gets your sand all wet, and then you're all mad and angry and cussing and swearing and all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little device here where we can take our 50-pound bag of play sand or whatever and dump it in the top and turn the thing on, and it'll jiggle back and forth and sift the sand and then catch any big rocks and chunks. And when it does that, we just flip it up and over, dump all the big rocks out the side, and we're all good to go. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how that turns out. But that's just me thinking crazy, as I always am. So, but, and there we go. And the cart and the tires and everything are rated to hold enough weight. So even if I have that thing with half full of water, 15, 20 gallons, let's say, then, you know, a couple of 50-pound bags of sand in there, we're still good, you know, as far as the weight capacity. You know, we don't have to worry about flattening the tires or anything like that. So we're all good, I think. Well, all right, so stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we'll make more progress on our Redneck Wetblasting cart. And as always, please subscribe, and you know, feel free to comment. I welcome all comments, and I'll even feed the trolls every now and then. And you can also email me here at MacGyver's Workshop at gmail.com, and I will get back to you. So anyway, appreciate it. Again, please subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell icon so you'll be notified when I post a new episode up. This is going to be a really nice, cool project, I think, doing a restoration on this truck. So, and then along the way, we're going to have to MacGyver up some stuff to get the job done. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.